Before we get into that, hi YouTube. I hope you're doing well. Hey, we're gonna be taking this one piece at a time. I hope that you guys have been liking the content by now. Everything should hopefully be released, or if not, this will be probably thrown out there in between the episodes, just as something, as a little treat, as a little extra, flavoring or whatever. I do want to go ahead and say, dude, make sure that you guys are practicing that self-care. If you guys like the content that we're putting out there for any of the shows, let me know. Leave a comment, like button. If you've learned anything or if you've learned to appreciate a character more, let me know. It really helps me out. It actually kind of motivates me. It keeps me going because it just, I don't know. For the longest time, I've always thought like, man, is what we're doing or is what I'm doing out here like genuinely like impacting people? And from the responses I've been getting, it seems as though a lot of people have like been taking away a lot of mental health elements. So I appreciate it, and I appreciate all of you guys being here. Um, but yes, guys, so we're gonna be taking this one step at a time because that is exactly what we should be doing. And why don't we go and just jump into it? I'm not sure how much YouTube is gonna go ahead and censor this, dude, because it's not your typical thing. But hey, we do what we gotta do. All right, telephone effect's probably gonna be on, letting you know. Anyway, 'Hold on, we're backing it up. Is Bochi singing this? Is this Bochi that's singing this supposedly, or like the character for Bochi? It's Kita. Okay, it's her lyrics, but Kita's. Do you guys remember? Hold on, this is some genius level shit. Quite literally referencing the end of the first couple of episodes, right? It's their song. Their band sings in the anime. No, I know it's a song that the band sings in the anime, but like this is quite literally like what happens at the end of like the first couple of episodes. Yeah, like where she's walking by with the umbrella at the very end. Am I remembering that right? Because it's been a hot minute. It's been a hot minute, but I need to double check. Hold on. I need to double check now, man. Sorry, y'all. Yes, the reason why we're doing this is because absolutely it drives home the importance of elements as to why we create music and why we create certain stuff. Don't worry, we're not watching the actual show. We're coming down. What was it at? Because I remember correctly, she was walking down, right? Hold on. Somewhere around here. Damn, it's not the second one. It has to be something, dude. Anyway, in one of the episodes, I strongly remember, distinctly remember her walking with an umbrella, right, and going through a situation like this. But through this, taking the lyrics apart by themselves, it sounds like being in a deep despair of loneliness where time is passing by and we're being able to reflect on it and not really having a good grasp of, the seasons changing, time moving, people not really, like, you're just being like a cloud in the sky, just moving around and no one really caring about you. For me, these lyrics, it's awesome that Kita singing them, but also, like, oof, Bochi. Dude, this sounds so fucking lonely. Like I'm listening to this and I'm like Oh, Bochi, Bochi. I remember like hearing the song the first, like, the first time that we saw the anime and being like, oh, this is really cool. No, don't expose the music I watch or I listen to. But damn, all right, here we go. Think about it. Suddenly, as the seasons change, what clothes should I wear? Spring and autumn, where have they gone? Oh yeah, for a note, I finished the entire series. It's fucking beautiful, beautiful series. But through this, I'm listening to this, and it's like, as this, as the season changed, what clothes should I wear? Ti- Time, times, yeah, the times are moving, and if you've ever been in a deep pit of isolation or loneliness or depression, or for example, and I know I've been open about this, but I've attempted in my life in the past. I had a really dark period in my life, and it feels like a blur. Especially when you start isolating and you start distancing yourself from others. Like, you forget, for example, some of the basic standards of socialization. Yeah, straight from summer to winter and no in between. Yeah, the real grim. And it's also one of those moments, for example, when I was in that deep pit of like darkness and depression and everything, I would wear the same thing. Like, granted, I wear these just to make it easier for the editors because we have a bunch of like thumbnail faces and stuff that we use. The seasons change, but the only thing really changing is the clothes. Yeah, yeah. But through this, the main thing that I was getting at is like, through that moment of despair, through the moment of everything, the only thing that I cared about is like, it might have gotten cold, was like I'd put on something slightly warmer, and I was thinking, wow, if I wore this, maybe more people would reach out to me, maybe I'd be able to talk to more people, you know. And it's like trying to do something to forget about the loneliness, the isolation that you feel, getting so involved in the games that like you lose track of time, right? That you lose track, that it just becomes a blur. This is awesome for like lyrics to be actually have that much meaning for it. Makes me forget about how lonely my life has become. Finfriend, well, even working hard, but at the same time, like, for example, people use pets and animals and other individuals that they can connect with on an individual level. Even people on Discord or streamers, right? Like, people use relationships or attachments to try and go ahead and help. Also, Bochi isn't even choosing your clothes; her parents are doing it for her. So I'm sure everything's just blending in. Yeah, this is oh, my heart, my corazón. This segment here, yeah. What's up, Rainy Winters? How you doing? I hope you're doing good. This segment right here, for me, it sounds like disassociation. Guys, in case you guys don't know, now this might be a shocker to some of you guys. Hey, I'm a psychologist, right? And when we talk about different elements like this, one of the big things a lot of people don't pay attention to is isolation, loneliness, not developing your social skills. It can be traumatic. It can actually be a trauma-filled thing. In psychology, when you come in to do an intake, one of the things that we check for are your developmental milestones. How are you socially active? Do you have a big social group, or do you have a social group in general, like some type of friends that you connect with or people that you connect with? Do you have? Nah, he's a wizard. YouTube, no. I'm a construction worker. No, my. But with that, like the big aspect that I'm getting at is like, you know, people people will disassociate. You go to school, you won't wake up till after you're gone from school, because that's so the you might try and make friends, and that first time that you're trying to talk to someone might be the only actual moment that you're awake in school. But from there on, you're just completely in disassociative mode, in automated mode, because you don't want to deal with the stressor that it is to actually be there, to feel what loneliness is, to understand that no one around you wants to connect with you in some way, shape, or form. That hurts, dude. And hearing the lyrics of this, it's like, ooh, it's strange that I can't hear the sounds of the world. I gotta back it up a little bit. Because look, that's what I'm getting at, yeah. Where have they gone? I can't even breathe. The pressure of information. That's already, like, we can talk about the anxiety of that, anxiety rising, the pressure of information for society, whatever. Sends me into a dizzying spiral. I don't know where I am. From Naruto to a whole new level, yeah. Yeah. Even though, like this, I can hear my breath. It's strange that I can't hear the sounds of the world. Like, my heart, dude. My heart fucking breaks. This happens way too much, man. Guys, in case you're doing this, if you're ever in school and you're ever actually, I might even, like, if I was her counselor, if I was her psychologist, I would be calling the school and trying to set up an IEP. You want me to be straight up with you? That's exactly what I would be doing. I'd be setting up an individualized education plan for her. Hearing this means that she's like, an individual is probably feeling overloaded at the school that they're in, right? They're probably feeling like the world is a lot, right? There's a lot of shit happening. In case you guys are wondering, if you guys are in the United States, you guys can ask for an individualized educational plan. In case you do have any sort of like anxiety, trauma, or anything like that, or make a band. Yeah, well, I mean, you can also put it like when you're playing, you do tend to go ahead and be in the moment, right, in the zone. But in a situation like this, it's like when people, we did see her disassociate once, I believe so, yeah. So it's common. It's common where people with a lot of anxiety, with a lot of stress, the overloadedness in the stress can cause you to disassociate. Can be quite traumatic, quite a few times. Anyway, that's what I'm like. This is oof. Bochi, Bochi, Bochi. It's not enough. Not enough. No one knows I'm here. Ooh. Oh, Bochi. Oh, that's a. I don't even got to go into that one. I think that's self-explanatory, man. Like, oh man, my heart. I let out a scream even though I couldn't make a scribble of a sound. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Social isolation is insane, guys. Social isolation in general and the effects that it has on mental health going forward. Even like, for example, a lot of people don't know this. Hey, if you have that self talk for yourself, that's normal. If you talk with yourself in some way, shape, or form, completely normal, dude. Like, yeah. And this is quite literally for Bochi to try and find her voice, yeah. And that's oof, oof, oof. Hold on, I'm trying to find something for you guys. Hold on. Mm. So in case you guys are wondering, hey, so what do you mean about like this is from an actual article under which conditions can introverts achieve happiness, mediation, moderation effects. They go through and they describe certain plans like that, right? Whenever I hear individual plan, it gives me bad vibes and make me feel even worse for being isolated. It doesn't. It's not about isolating you from your peers. You'd still be with your peers, but it would help you in terms of an educational standard, like i.e., um, in case like, hey, I don't like to be called out in class. Guess what? the individualized plan that you have for you doesn't allow the teacher to put you on a spotlight because it might trigger your anxiety to that point. No one else knows about it other than you and your teacher, right? So like that helps you in that, and it doesn't isolate you. It doesn't like push you away from your group of friends or anything like that. But it puts preconditions so that you can thrive in the environment that you're in. I.e., for example, if you could do a project, right? And let's say that the teacher forces you to do a project in front of everyone, and you're like, hey, I'd rather do this like just for you, you know, instead of in front of the class because my anxiety gets the best of me, or I become so anxious that like I just shut down, you know, and I'd rather just do this alone. It makes the teacher honor that request, right? Or it makes your professors honor those requests because it's supposed to be about you thriving for your educational pursuit as opposed to other things. Knowing that you kicked the bucket, you'd not remembered. Well, let's talk about that. We're going to get into that, right? One of the big issues that I was talking about here, which is in this study, it quite literally says like the more it's quite common knowledge, the more friends that you make, right? The better, like, or relationships that you make, the quality relationships that you make, the easier it is going to be for you to actually start gaining your, like, sort of being a little bit more extroverted, gaining that happiness. And this is from a study that's being done with a lot of like individuals to try and qualify what happiness extroversion is. Guys, I always suggest reading up on like stuff that's out there because for me, I'm hearing this and I'm like, Bochi writing these lyrics. It's yeah, it hurts going through. So Finfran, and for those of you guys that are wondering this, what specifically hurts about that? About not being remembered by anyone? What legacy do you want to leave behind? This goes out to everyone, including yourselves out there. If you're socially anxious, not socially anxious, introverted, extroverted, whatever that may be, how do you want to be remembered by, and why? And I think that those are some big topics of conversation. Who am I supposed to show that just who I am? Oof, oof. So Bochi can't even truly be herself around others because of everything that's happening. You know, no one's truly wanting to connect, and Bochi's just, yeah. Music is the only thing that keeps her going. It's her grounding technique, yeah. About being remembered badly than not being remembered at all. And also, what type of people do you want to remember you? You know, and I think that's also a big aspect in that, you know, because for example, for Bochi and herself, right? How is she trying to make this statement? And how is she trying to go ahead and pull down this mask and be comfortable with others? As we've been seeing in the show, she's starting to become more and more herself, especially towards the end of the episodes. She's thriving and starting to grow more and more as an individual, you know. And for me, the more that I'm seeing it, it's turning away from the guitar being her grounding to her band being her grounding. You know, her band being her home. And I guess I'll state this out there. Hey, your a house is not a home. Where you live, if you're living with your parents, hey, yeah, cool, you're living with your parents, but that doesn't have to be a home for you. You know, family doesn't have to be family by related by blood. It can be people that you choose to be a part of your life. She lets out a scream. No one's there to like. No one's really is able to go and connect with her. Empty chairs. Who is she supposed to show who she is? Her with the guitar. That's what I'm saying. The imagery of this is insane. All of a sudden, the process. All of a sudden, sorry, the process of change. Right when she starts talking about change, the more of an emphasis that we get with her on the spotlight with the guitar. Right. So look. This is her Earth. Guess what? It's no longer raining. Now that she's using music as an agent of change, as her ability to change as an individual, right? As the ability to start growing as an individual, guess what? It's now sunny. When she's talking about it, right? When we look at the first little bits over here, she doesn't have the guitar and she's not playing the guitar or anything like that. Oh, it's raining, but guess what? The sun's coming out. Isn't that something that's pretty fucking cool, dude? Like just the imagery of that. Like that's why I'm like, this is insane, dude. This and like coming back to it. Hey, it goes 240 something. Yeah, I would prefer everyone forgetting me than oof. Anyway, something seems to change, and all of a sudden, what changes? Bochi's now in the front light again. Yeah, why am I getting so fired up? Singing like the fool that I am. It's noisy. And boom. All right, let's go. I just wanted to point that out because for me, I found that beautiful and the way that they're talking about it when they're talking about the dark and depressive stuff, or they're talking about some of the elements in this song that are a little bit like darker in tone, darker in talking about the isolation, the loneliness that they feel. Who can they really show their true colors for? What does it mean for them to grow? Or, you know, certain things like the dark aspects of the show, it's shot in this darkness and this loneliness and this actual, like, whatever, right? And as the lyrics are changing, you can see the background slowly start to get like the sun start to come out, just like the seasons that she was talking about, and lights start to come through, and Bochi's in the spotlight. And now it's no longer that she's in a classroom. Well, she might be in the classroom, but there's a spotlight on her, and it's a show. It's a performance time. It's no longer Bochi being student Bochi who's afraid of the spotlight. It's Bochi being musician Bochi with her agents of change and changing with her guitar and being able to be a part of the band. Guys, this is beautiful cinematography, a beautiful way of actually fucking taking this apart and looking at it like, whoa. So look at it now. Now it's changed again, right? Now it's changed into sparkliness. Now it looks like cinematic. Yeah, Bochi on the screen. I know. But like, look, if we're paying attention to this now the classroom's completely changed from feeling dark and lonely and broody to feeling like sunlight's coming up, so to now there's like wind coming in, petals floating around, like nostalgic even to the times that they used to be. Anyway, that's what I'm saying, dude. This is for me. I think this is awesome. Magical even. That's cool. Holy shit. That's cool. That just went from like, think about it, right? It's her cries for help, for cries for attention and whatnot. Dark, lonely, broody, right? To finally getting something in, to her realizing her agent of change, right? So starting to change from dark and broody to finally there's some light in here. Bochi finally using out her guitar as an agent of change to be noticed. The sun's starting to come out. There might be a little bit more notice. Bochi saying, hey, look at me. I'm right here. Pay attention to me. And all of a sudden we get this like beautiful, beautiful aspect of like Bochi quite literally being magical. Or she's screaming it, dude. Listen to me. Hear me. I'm here. For those of you guys, I'm kind of curious. How many of you guys have experienced that? How many of you guys have experienced people who talk to respond rather than or like listen to respond rather than listen to understand? And that's huge. In this world, I've encountered nothing more lonely than individuals who would rather listen to respond to your statements than listen to understand where you're coming from. And that's me saying it as a therapist. That's me saying it as an individual. I've encountered hundreds of people, a lot of friends, a lot of individuals who, when you talk to them, they think that their purpose is to solve your issues and they have to respond to everything you're saying rather than try and listen to where you're coming from and empathize with it. That's where I'm like, fuck, dude. Bochi's coming in with fire. Bochi's coming in with some hot fire here. I want to be something, something. Anything is fine. That's fucking awesome, dude. Hito the shiny person singing this is hilarious. It's awesome, yeah. Not gonna lie, I've been guilty of the mindset quite often, but I'm trying to consciously check myself. Yeah, yeah, and that's the thing is, in situations like this, like even in a crowded room, yeah, and this is what I'll throw out there because some people will try and say, oh, but Bochi, there was always people around Bochi, so she shouldn't feel lonely. Even in the loudest room, you can still find yourself as isolated as though there was no one in the world around you. If no one is willing to listen to you, if no one is willing to understand what you're going through, even in a situation where your family might be the most supportive, loving parents, and they might be there trying to push you to do the best. If you're not open for change, or you're not open for it, or you don't have friends or other support system, guess what? It's difficult. Everyone's road towards recovery, towards growing, towards whatever does not look the same. And pushing someone to do something that they don't want to do, guess what? People will go through the process of it, but are they really going to take away anything from it? Probably not. And Bochi screaming this in these lyrics, like, hey, notice me, I'm here. Trying, like, even in a classroom where there's all these other kids, is anyone really noticing Bochi for who she is? Understanding Bochi for what she represents, for what she wants to let out? No. And the only time that she was noticed was because of her being in the band. Yeah, it's sort of when she's like the school started to really notice her. Being isolated in large crowds is too real. Absolutely. Absolutely. I used to be that one happy friend and I always felt like alone and depressed even though I wasn't. Yeah. But here's the thing is, even putting on the mask, yeah. Guitar. Yeah, even putting on a mask, yeah. Like putting on the mask of always being the happy friend or always being the whatever, right? It's draining. It is draining, which is why I will always say, hey, people go through life through a lot of issues, right? That's very like before. Um, you don't have to charge on or tackle on other people's issues as your own. Feel what you gotta feel. Be honest with it, right? Because even myself, I have my good days and I have my bad days, just like everyone does. But being open about it, like, hey, I'm not feeling too good. Hey, I'm feeling this way or that way. Super duper important. I used to try and always be that positive friend as well, Champu. I used to try and always be there and be there for people and whatnot until, it started becoming obvious that people's, like some people's relationship in the past with me wasn't just because, oh, you're a friend or whatever. It was more like, oh, I need to vent to you. Oh, you're the only person that I can open up to. And it's like, I'm not your therapist. I thought I was your friend. And there's a big difference in that. One, don't get used as a venting board. It's okay from time to time, but don't get used constantly for it. You know, when approaching Bochi from sunlight into shade, then brought her out into the light. Very nice choice of scene composition. It is. It is. Overall, though, I think like the lyrics, this song is awesome. This song is just fucking phenomenal. First off, second off, holy shit, dude! The composition of like what they could do with just three different scenes. Oh, take a classroom setting, right? Build it up in Unreal Engine, right? all you have to do is put in the character shots in different angles, right? And then just change the like the day-night cycle and a picture of clouds, and they literally made a fucking story out of this. Think about that, dude. Just process that. The beauty of this, dude. Bochi is such Saxosaurus, absolutely. Bochi is such a badass. And just in general, this whole song, dude, it's awesome. That was fucking awesome. Actually taking the time to like read it, like process it, analyze it, like take it lyric by lyric and like see sort of what's happening. Amazing. Fucking amazing, guys. All right, YouTube. I don't know what else to say other than I think we're going to probably be doing all the songs at some point in time. Hopefully YouTube doesn't come down with its hard hammer. Ah, no, bad YouTuber. But if it does, hey, I hope you guys appreciated it. Let me know, what did you guys take away when your first time listening to this song? This was pretty fucking cool. I'm not going to lie. I know I'm getting demonetized if I'm cussing a lot, but whenever I'm really, really excited, I cuss a lot. It is what it is. But we'll be watching more of these songs probably this stream. It might be too late for you guys, but it'll be up on YouTube soon enough. Oh yeah, that's totally fine, Nick Mayer. I'd totally be down for shit like that. But with that, guys, yeah, leave a comment. It helps out the channel grow. It helps the algorithm and all of that stuff. And also subscribe in case you've been watching the Bochi videos. And if you like the analysis or the concepts that we've talked about, feel free to share it around. The main aspect of the whole channel is quite literally for mental health purposes, for people to be able to like take elements of mental health out of some of the conversations that we've had. We've had some individuals in here before we leave mention that some of the concepts that we've been talking about have been appearing in some of their psychology classes. So is what I'm saying true? There you go. There you go. You know, coming from someone that's not doing their PsyD, there you go. Anyways, YouTube, have a good night. Be safe. And yeah.